All right. Everybody, welcome back to Next in Line. I've been looking forward to this. I even told Mike Bush here. I was looking at my calendar the last 2 weeks. I'm like, when is Mike's recording, man? I've been waiting for this for a while. And thank you for taking time, carving time. I know you're busy. And one thing that I was going to share with you that I've learned over the last 5 months I'm doing this, CIOs often talk about what they do. They really don't get a chance or opportunity to talk too much about who they are and how they got there. It's always about like
Hmm.
what they do, tech bits, bytes, business, align this, align that, right? Fires, support. And it's like, man, these are full fledged executives, right? That are really integrated into business more than ever. This position has evolved over the last 30 years tremendously, right? I'm starting to even see things like the next step, COO, CEO, coming from the ranks from IT. So that's
Yep.
promising. So I do want to thank you for taking this time to do that. I want this platform is for you guys. I want you to feel free to like, let's have a good conversation about whatever you feel like, expressing and, paying it forward to the community that we support. Our community that we focus on is mostly the IT workforce. And
Cool.
it's across range. So it's executives down to kids that just got a CS degree that are struggling to get inside the door of an organization. So anything you can do to any advice there, we'll kind of run through those things that you can share. It'd be much appreciated. So no
Cool.
one, especially you, no one's going to introduce yourself better than you. So do you mind kind of letting everybody know who you are and how you got there?
Sure. Sure. So, first of all, thank you for the invite to join you on this podcast. It's actually a huge honor for me. Like
Thank you,
just
brother.
to share the story. I'm always humbled whenever I'm asked to do something like this. I feel like it couldn't be any larger of an honor for me. So thank you for the invite, first of all. So Mike Bush, Senior Director of IT. I like to say head of technology for the Colorado Rockies. I've been in role for 9.5, almost 10 years. It's crazy, twisty, turny road to get here. I'm a born and raised in Denver, born and raised in Colorado. And, in 1993, whenever my city got a team, and, I just fell in love with the Rockies, and I never
Oh,
thought that I'd be working for the Rockies someday. So I was just a weird bunch of things and preparedness that got me here. And
that's right.
it's been a lot of fun ever since. It's been, like I said, almost 10 years, and I still wake up every day looking forward to coming into work, which, I don't
That's
know how many people can really say that, especially after this amount of time.
But yeah, no, that's a blessing. I mean, and you've seen the team. I mean, you got one. Do you guys got a World Series on the belt?
We've been to a World Series. We
World
haven't
Series.
won
You
a.
guys had them, right?
Yeah,
Close.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
taking any shots, Mike. I'm not taking any shots. I thought you guys had, but I know you guys been there. Who did you guys face? I can't remember.
We faced the Red Sox, and it was a crazy thing where we won like 22 out of 23 in September to even get in to 163rd game that we had to play against the Padres here at Coors Field. And in the
Wow.
163rd game, it went to extra innings, and
Damn.
the Padres went up by 1 or 2 runs, and then at the bottom of the 12th, we ended up scoring Matt Holliday, and that's that one play where half the people say he touched the plate, half the people say he didn't, but then the firm corner of he did touch the
He
plate,
did.
scored the run, and then we swept the Phillies, we swept the Diamondbacks, and then had a 2-week break before the Red Sox came into town, and all of our momentum got lost.
Damn. It's fun as well. Is I see that happen. You see this happen in football. You see that where sometimes it's not the best record. It's always who's the hottest team going into the playoffs. Red
Absolutely.
Sox got lucky, huh? I mean, that 2 weeks cooled you guys off a little bit.
Well, they were still the Cleveland Indians at the time, and they were up 3-1 on them, and the Red Sox
Mm.
came back and ended up winning that series. That's why there was such a huge break.
Three to
Yeah.
one. Oh, so they came in hot too.
Yep.
Who was your? I have to ask, but who was the ace on that year?
I can't remember, but a funny side story is that Mike Timlin, who was a pitcher for the Red Sox, I met him years later. He was the pitching coach at my son's high school, and my son was a pitcher at the time. And I
Damn.
walked up, and it was, God, my son wasn't even there yet. He was the incoming freshman meeting. And I walked
Okay.
up, and I was like, Coach Timlin, thank you for everything you do for the boys. I really appreciate you giving your time and your effort and making them all better. But I'm sorry, I can't shake your hand. He goes, what? I go, I'm a huge Rockies fan, and you worked us in '07. He goes, that's all right, man. I understand. It's all good. So,
That's awesome, man. So you're
Yeah.
around. I got to ask you that since we're like, we make our own rules in this podcast, right? So I got to ask you. So a lot of people like going out to players, you see them all the time. These guys, superstars, down to earth. They're people. I mean, I tell people that they're people just like they have issues and they have challenges, just like normal people.
Yep.
Have you experienced the same thing?
I have a couple specific examples. One is we have Rockies Fest every year, which is our kind of our fan festival. It's in late January. It's all hands on deck for the front office. And last year, my particular job was walking Chris Bryant around for the whole time. So I got to spend, 7 or 8 hours with him.
Oh wow,
And he was just as nice and humble and everything as can be. You would think a guy who has that large of a contract and has had that much success in his career,
that's right.
like he might, be a little full of himself or whatever, but it was just the opposite. He was,
Mm.
just like down to earth, humble, great guy, still now when I see him in the halls, he's like, "Hey, Mike, what's up?" Kind of thing. And that,
Really, I
that
love
just keeps
that.
me out, man. I love that
That's
stuff.
what's up. That's what's up. That's got to be cool going to work like that, right?
Yeah.
These guys like that. You're right. He's World Series, right? He's a World Series guy for
Yeah.
Cubs. He was a
MVP.
heck of a hitter. Oh
Yep.
wow, man. That kid, he had a swing that right. Oh, that kid could hit.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
great. I remember when he got drafted out of San Diego, I believe, and he was a big time prospect, big time.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
still on. He's still on. He's still with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. We still got him under contract. So,
Oh, sweet.
yeah. So we'll be,
I love this off season. Just people move around. I'm a big baseball fan. You know that. So
yep.
we'll show some props later. But anyway, Mike, I got to ask you. So, thanks for sharing, like, how you guys been a Denver fan and how they came to 93. But also, I got to ask you, man, how you feel about them Broncos, brother?
I can't wait. I just love
Um,
those guys. I've been a huge orange and blue fan also. Hopefully we can get through the Bills this weekend and then through whoever the following weekend and end up in Santa Clara this year. Because your
That's nice.
boy is going to be going this year. So hopefully I
Oh, wow.
get a game.
That's badass. That's badass. That's good, man. Congrats. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
you taking who you taking who's got the priority pass for you?
So one of my vendors is graciously agreed to bring me.
Oh, no, I'm talking like the wife. She's not making sure she's going.
No, that I tried, but the vendor's like, you know how much these tickets are? So
Oh, I know. Well, down here we have next week UM is playing national championship
uh,
and the tickets are out of control.
yeah.
Like it's like a couple seats. My friend has season tickets, and a couple seats in front of him are going for like 9,000 a piece.
Whoa. Jeez. Yeah, that's crazy.
Miami is like anytime if you to be popular in Miami, to be like get fans in Miami, you absolutely have to win.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they are black and white. Like if you're not winning, they don't go. So right now it's like everybody wants to see the Canes. Everybody. So those seats are through the roof.
Right.
And it's gonna be a good. It should be a good game. I don't know if you know the story, but the kid from Indiana, he's a Miami boy,
Yeah.
the quarterback. Great story. Great story about that kid.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
even recruited out of high school. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Those are the
Yeah.
stories I love, man.
Me too. Well, you think about Josh Allen even, right? For the Bills, right? So nobody,
That's my
he
favorite quarterback.
tape around and then Wyoming gave him a shot. And then now look at him, right?
And Wyoming was the only one to give him a shot.
Right.
He only
Yeah.
had one, and because he had the junior college first.
Yep.
I mean, how do you miss a 6'6" kid can run like that with that arm? I don't
Right.
know.
Right.
It could be maybe he wasn't that guy yet,
Yep. Yep.
and that's what happened.
I mean, I graduated high school. I was 5'8" and 145 pounds.
Oh man, you
Now I'm
got me
like,
by 10 pounds.
yeah. So I grew. So
Where'd you grow up? You grew up in Denver, right?
yeah, yeah. I grew up in Denver. I went to Thornton High School here. Went to college at University of Northern Colorado. So I mean,
Nice.
I've been like true Colorado man.
That's
So
what's up.
I got
That's
everything
up.
but the puffy vest. So
You got the plaid shirts and everything,
oh yeah,
all
yeah.
this stuff.
Beanies, wear those around.
So let me. I gotta switch. I'm gonna switch some gears on you a little bit. So I wanted to see if you could take me back to because a lot of people see where you're at today, and they rarely get to see how you started, right? So, and the little stuff that I do know about you, I don't think it was the most traditional route right into IT right away, right?
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit how you got into IT and your first job and everything?
Sure, sure. So yeah, I always like to say I'm a recovering accountant, right? So I graduated college with an accounting degree and was fully down that path. Got a CPA, worked as an accountant for 7 years. And one day I kind of woke up and was like, I don't think this is right for me. I just like, it just didn't quite fit my personality and didn't quite fit where I wanted to go, my aspirations and things like that. And luckily, I had a friend. His name was Lance Dobbins. He worked at a technology company here in Colorado called FRX, which was financial reporting software. And I happened to be a super user of financial reporting, of the FRX financial reporting software. And
Wow.
so I was just kind of lamenting to him about how I wanted to make a change. He was like, well, might be great timing because we're hiring testers, QA testers that know the product really well. Would you be interested in making the career change? And I was like, I think I would. I think I would. So
Nice.
he hired me over to FRX, which ironically, Lance hired me twice in my career. So, because he
Did he
was
really?
one of my accounting jobs, he was the HR director, and then again at FRX. So I owe
That's
him big
awesome.
time. Yeah. So I made the switch to technology. I was started in quality assurance. I was a frontline QA for about 6 months, and then got promoted to team lead. And then within about a year, I got promoted to QA manager. And then through different alignments and different reorganizations. I was over the products for a while. I was over development for a while. I was over the site for a while. And then so the crazy thing is that the day after I started at FRX, we got bought by Great Plains Software. And then
Oh,
the year
okay.
after, Great Plains got bought by Microsoft. So I was
Mm,
a Microsoft employee doing Microsoft things for a long time. That was,
wow.
yeah. So it was a crazy.
Wind up working for Microsoft, transition a career, and then wind up working for Microsoft few years later.
Yeah, yeah. And then, just kind of to continue the story, Microsoft closed the office in Denver, and at least the development office here in Denver. And then I went on to a little software startup and did that for about 6 years. And then the position here at the Rockies opened up, and basically the job description. Well, I didn't, I sort of heard from a friend that it was open, and I was like, that's a hardware networking, help desk job. I'm a software guy. That just
Yeah.
doesn't fit. But I ended up getting the job description, and it was all about leadership and budgeting and guiding the team and strategic vision and 5 year
Hmm.
out planning. And I was like, I could do that. Let's throw my hat in the ring, give it a shot. And it took about 4 or 5 months and a whole bunch of interviews, but finally
You went
got
through a
in.
series of interviews. Wow.
Yeah,
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 that's great, man. So,
yeah.
that's good, man. You kind of look past, you read what it read, and then the way that I guess they described it to you was all infrastructure based. Most people would have said, "Man, don't even bother," but you looked
Right,
into it more.
right.
Good for you, man.
Right,
Good
right.
for
Yeah,
you.
that's kind of, some of the things that, we wanted to talk about is, like some advice, and the advice is just, be prepared for anything. Like I don't, and it's just such general stupid advice, but it's so true. Like,
It's true.
just because the paper says one thing doesn't mean that's the story, right? And if you can look at it through creative lenses, you might be able to see through what is written on paper, or written in the job ad, or written whatever, and be able to kind of offer something that would otherwise be unavailable, right? Because
Absolutely.
of your unique perspective. So, and that's, my boss told me, like, it was me and one other candidate were sort of neck and neck. And what took me
Hmm.
over the top actually was my accounting experience, because they
Oh,
believed I
shoot.
could handle the business part of the job, which is a very large part, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's an advantage. That was the biggest advantage.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So, that's the advice, is just, try and decipher the story behind the story if you
Yeah,
can, right? So,
that's good. You know what I saw? Just to kind of take a note here. You got into IT, and then you were kind of lead right away, like within 6 months.
mhm,
So you've been leading for very early in your career.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
what kind of you felt like? What shaped you becoming like a leader?
Man, it took me a long time to recognize that A, I had those skills, and B, that those skills were valuable. And I'll never forget back in the fraternity in college, I was like milling around being treasurer, running around for treasurer again, whatever. And one of my fraternity brothers was like, why don't you run for president? I was like, what? Like, I can't do that. No, nobody would vote for me. And he was like, are you kidding me? And then ended up running or whatever. And that was my first kind of foray into, like, maybe people do look at me that way, and maybe people like, and I don't know, for me, I guess the word is humble. I don't know. I
Mhm.
people have described me that way. I don't think I'm a guy
100%.
that's out there always self-promoting, but I do feel like that's, humility is kind of a big part of my thing. And that was that was the first time where it was like, no, man, you got to get out there. You got to shed this humble pie and go lead some people. And I think too that kind of having that grounding and that humility, and trying and marrying that up with the leadership and the kind of a very extroverted personality,
Hmm.
it's a weird mix. And I've come to
Oh,
understand that people, a lot of those two things don't usually jive. But I think, in building the community, especially here in Denver, and even nationally with some of the national CIO things that I go to, I know my role, and my role is to be a connector, and
mhm.
my ability to do that lies in the melding of those two things, where I feel like I have authentic connections with people, right?
Yeah,
And then, but I'm also able to kind of show, like, hey, if you want to get behind me, or you want to, use me as a resource, people feel comfortable doing that. And I think that
that's great.
those two things have really helped a lot.
That's huge, man. That's a great segue too. So, I didn't realize this. You became the president of your fraternity as well.
No, no, I didn't say that. I
No?
said Korean.
Oh, okay.
I
But
I
you went
lost
for it.
so
But you went for it,
I
bro.
got almost half of them. So that was
You almost got
shocking.
half.
Yeah.
Well, that's huge. But like, that's something early on you start picking up. Like, you have some of those traits, and obviously you don't look like the person that, not say campaigns for things, but are you more like kind of guy? Let me demonstrate it by example. I'll get tapped on the shoulder kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. At least that's what I see, because you're a very humble guy, and every time you hear people talk about you and they tell me, "Oh, you got to meet Mike Bush. He's stand up guy, just good people." I mean, it's so consistent, Mike. It's not bullshit. It's for real. I hear this all the time.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
It's really good to hear,
Yeah.
and trust me, as a underwriter, it makes us feel comfortable too.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, that's, I, I say I recognize people's roles, right? But you do a good job of that too, man. Like, you're not in there. It doesn't feel like you're in there to be like, go buy some
Oh
stuff
yeah,
from us. You're there.
yeah,
It feels like you're there to build the community too, and that's just as
100%.
important, man. So, you
I
know,
love learning from you guys, man. You guys are the best. I feel like I'm in school. Like, just start asking, like, what's the biggest challenge? Just start learning, 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 learning.
sure.
It's like hanging out with a bunch of cool guys that are just mentoring you and shit. So I love it.
That's fun. Yeah, actually, speaking of cool guys, Brian Gabbard gave me a shout out at one of the things, and it was actually one of the biggest professional compliments I've gotten ever. And I was just sitting in the front row, and he was giving a speech, and he's like, "It's so nice to see so many friends here. Like, Mike Bush is here in the front." And I call him human LinkedIn. I was like, "Oh man, that's so cool."
Human LinkedIn. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I love it.
I
You
was,
got definitely that. I mean, I can see that. And Brian, yeah, thanks for shouting him out, because I'm here every time I hear somebody talking about him, it's always super positive.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's just he's another, like, somebody who I admire and who I model my leadership after, because when you really talk about a servant leader,
Hmm.
that's the goal for me, and that's the model I follow. And he is the perfect epitome of that, man. He just, is always willing to give, always willing to help, and always willing to throw in, whether it's at the top level strategic, 10-year
Sure.
vision, or if it's, hey, let's go build this thing from the ground up. And he's willing to roll up his sleeves and get dirty. And that, a lot of people will say that, you shouldn't do that as a leader, and you're wasting your time. But I sort of view it the opposite way. I think it builds credibility with your team. If you're willing to,
100%.
yeah, willing to roll up your sleeves, get down there, for some stuff that I do here, like, I have a very small team, but so we've all got to pitch in, like, I'm our Okta administrator. I probably
Okay.
shouldn't be doing that based on, organizational levels and stuff like that, but
Sure.
the team needs it, and I have the capacity to do it. So
That's what's up. I love that. I love that. Like, I think your team loves you for that too. They respect it.
I hope
They
so.
respect it a lot. And I'm from New York, so we call that, you have a lot of street credit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we'll say. Yeah. I
You
love
do, you do at work, and you're building community like you've been doing it. How long have you been? kind of contributed on that side, building community for a while outside of the Rockies.
So I got involved in the CIO community about in 2021, I think. So
Okay.
yeah, I won my Orby in 21, and then
Nice.
that was kind of my first foray into it. That was another thing too, man, where just kind of like the imposter syndrome, man. Like
Mm.
I was like,
Tell me
I
about that.
belong with these people. I don't know, because I've got all these high level. We got Diego at Gates, we got Brian
Yeah.
at the time, we've got
John
Jason.
Schellenberger, Beast.
I mean, like all of these high power guys, right? And women too. You got Dolores at Hensel Phelps. You got,
That's right.
like all of these people. You got Deanna, right? Deanna Talent. And I'm just like, do I fit in with these people? It's
Mm.
the imposter syndrome. And winning that award was for me a physical manifestation of, yeah, you
Mm.
belong. And honestly, for me, it was a keystone between being in the back of the room and being in the front of the room. Right.
Wow.
So,
That's awesome.
and I don't know that everybody is going to have that kind of opportunity to get such a key turn, if you will. Right.
Of
So,
course. It's
you know,
tough.
and I sit back and think to myself, like, what if that wouldn't have happened? Right.
Mm.
Why couldn't I summon up I don't know, courage, maybe? I don't know if that's the right word, but
I don't know. Yeah. Don't know if that one either.
confidence, the whatever it is, to just
Yeah.
do that. If I wouldn't have won that award, like, why couldn't I do that?
I'm
And
sure. I'm sure a
and
lot of people would ask that, 100%. I mean, because I'm glad you mentioned this about imposter syndrome, because I hear this a lot, and I hear, I've faced that myself a number of times
mm.
in every business you start. But what advice do you have for folks that kind of feel that way, and that may hold them back?
So this is a sort of an extreme example, maybe, but it's kind of like going to the gym. I like going to the gym a lot, and you go there, and I talk to people about going, and encourage physical fitness, and I just think it helps so much just to even if you're overweight or whatever, just to be out doing something. For me, I do it at lunchtime, and it's such a great mental break in the middle of the day. Really
Oh,
helps
nice.
me. But in encouraging others around here to go, they're like, oh, I can't go there. People will look at me, it'll be funny. I'll feel funny. And my advice to them is nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're there. Nobody cares if you're not. Nobody,
Yeah.
it's just your own,
In the head.
it's standard, and you've got to get through that. And that's the same with imposter syndrome, right? Like nobody cares,
Yeah.
now, getting up and being a leader in front of the whole group, like people might be judgy for that, but in 2 weeks, nobody cares,
They don't.
like
They got too much going on.
it's and that sounds a lot more cynical than it is, because on the flip side, I feel like in general people are good, and people want to look out for each other, and people
Sure.
are truly concerned about your best interests, and they don't mean to harm you, and they're not going to step over you to get some advantage or whatever. And that's got me burned a couple times, but it's not cynical that nobody cares. It's actually empowering, because like I said, it's just such a little blip in the radar. If somebody does seem to care, it probably won't
Yeah.
matter.
That's right. So advice that one of my friends, he was on a podcast, and he said, you got into that room for a reason. You got to remember that.
Hmm.
So because he was struggling at first, because some of the organizations were a lot bigger than he was,
Yep.
right? Am I belong? I belong, and he's 100% belongs, and he got through that just by kind of mentoring himself, making sure he believes he got in the room for a reason. And I thought it was really good mental advice that he was giving himself. And
Yep.
so he's big passion on making sure that he spreads that word around. So I
Right.
don't know if you've met him before, but and you ever met Joe Hernandez out of Team
Um,
Arrow? He was at
I think I have.
Converge. Yeah, you guys would get along easily. Let's
Cool.
put it that way.
Another thing, like just talking about that kind of stuff, is for me another key is just being authentic. You had mentioned before, and that's actually something I pride myself on, is what you see is what you get. And does everybody love me? Does everybody like me? Nope. But I'm okay with that. And
You
like,
have a lot of fun with it, though. You have a lot of fun with it.
yeah, I mean, that's but if I'm being true to myself and I'm not putting on a mask, you're putting yourself out there, that's for sure. But at least at the end of the day, you can look yourself in the mirror and, as long as you're authentic and truthful with people, I mean, that's all that matters. Again, it's your own standards. It's again,
Absolutely.
going back to lifting. It's why I lift. I don't lift to impress, other people at the gym or to, pick up chicks or whatever. I lift because it makes me feel good about myself.
You feel
It
good,
makes
yeah.
me feel good physically. That that that's going to be a bigger motivator for me than anything else it could be. So I just feel like that's the same thing. Just with all of this stuff, it's all connected, right?
Oh, are you a morning guy, 5:30 a.m. guy, or you after 5:30 afternoon guy? Oh no, you said you're lunchtime.
I'm noon, man. I got to go at noon.
I'm assuming you got Rocky facilities.
Well, yeah, we do across the in McGregor Square. Yep, yep. So it's right
Oh,
next door.
okay. Oh, so you got a gym there.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's gotta be good.
yeah.
I thought one of the perks you get a trainer and everything.
I have access to those guys, and they're super smart, and they do a good job. So
Oh, I imagine. I imagine. So let me switch gears a little bit on you. So, because I talked to a couple different, I got an opportunity to know a few different, professional, league, CIOs that work either NFL and or MLB. And a lot of people may not know how much goes behind the scenes from an IT perspective. It's perceived as like, well, you're good. You guys, that's an easy job. Like they don't have that money. What are they at? Concessions, POS. What else we talking? How much more stuff we talking about here, right? Can you clear that perception up for us, man?
yeah, I mean, the elevator pitch is: imagine hosting 50,000 of your closest friends 81 times a year. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, man. Because if we have 81 chances to make our revenue being, our home games, right? So, and I'm ignoring TV and sponsorship and all that other stuff, but the big chunk is our ticket revenue. And if we screw that up because people can't get in with their digital tickets or the system's down and they can't buy
Mm,
merchandise or concessions, I mean, like, that's major, right?
big time.
Yeah, so we've got to be, we can't even be like 99.99% up. We got to like 0.999999%
A
up
lot of nines. That
in
sounds
days.
expensive.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that goes, that's not just, wired connection, that's Wi-Fi, that's cellular, that's, because everything's digital now, right? And whether it's,
Signage, all that, anything
oh yeah,
related. So that's not even traditional IT in an organization is yours.
right,
Wow.
right,
Wow.
right.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a
So,
lot.
and the funny thing is that like the during the season is, we've just got to keep the lights on, right? So when we're talking about April through ideally the end of October, it's just kind of like, if anything it's kind of break fix scenario, kind of like, maybe some minor upgrades and stuff. But
Sure.
once December 1st hits until March 31st, that's our prime time, man. We got to get going because we got to get all our upgrades done in that time. And whether it's a major construction project or replacing our Wi-Fi system or whatever,
Mm,
we've got that finite amount of time. And that due date's not changing because opening day is opening day and we got to be ready. So
that's right.
I'd like to say the season is a lot more hours, but a lot less stress, and the off season, fewer hours, but way more stress. So
Wow. Wow. So yeah, well, they're resting and you're grinding, right?
yeah, yeah, totally.
So wow, that's good to know. And from a systems perspective, like let's talk about like you don't mind maybe AI for instance. This productivity back office stuff. But are you guys doing anything cool around like analytics?
We're just building that, so we're just putting together a business analytics data team, and that'll be under me here. And what they're going to be doing is really sourcing data, whether it's from ticketing data, from MLB data, whether it be like MLB TV or Rockies.com or things like that,
Mm,
merchandise, concessions, parking. We got the accounting. Another input that most people might not have is weather, right? Because
that's right.
weather severely affects our what we're doing. So
You guys have a retractable?
we do not. No, we're all the way open, man. So
Damn, that's
yeah,
tough in the spring.
yeah, yeah. But Caesar, I got to get you out here in like September. You got to come out like a late
Um,
September game. There's nothing better, man.
oh man,
Just
definitely.
beautiful here.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna let's plan it around the one of the like I definitely try to go. I'm gonna be there on February. for that insider event
Okay. Yeah.
with John Schellenberger.
Yeah.
So, but we could, I definitely go either every other month. I look forward to that, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
heard the stadium, the ball flies.
Yeah, it does. It's
Right?
good here, but I mean, even without that, just the whole stadium experience. We're consistently ranked top five stadium in MLB, and even though
Wow,
we're the third oldest stadium in the National League, which is just crazy to me,
the,
we're
the, the
still
third oldest stadium.
in the National League. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, damn, that's really. I heard wrapping my head around that. That's
yeah,
wild.
yeah. But
Stadium in the league.
yeah, but our owner is a big proponent. So he came up in the cattle industry, and he actually was. I was listening to a speech of his, and he said that his dad taught him that you always take percentage of the profits and reinvest it in the plant, and that
Mm.
will pay itself off, down the road. And then he was like, that now they're not in the cattle industry, they're in the baseball industry. What's his plant? It's Coors Field. So we're investing heavily every year in maintaining and upgrading it. So it's
Oh,
actually
shoot.
really good advice, and that's it pays off in fan experience, right? So
Oh, definitely,
yeah,
definitely. How's
yeah.
the fan base in Colorado? Is it better than the Marlins Stadium?
Now, I'm not going to compare. I'm just going to say our fan base is really good. They're very loyal. They're extremely frustrated, which we've had some down years recently, but I feel like we're on the way up, man. We're doing some good things around here, and I feel like we've sort of reached that inflection point where we're going to be a hopefully quickly rising team, but we're going to be a rising team for sure. So.
Nothing like playoff baseball, right?
Yep. Yep. Oh
So,
man. My first 2 years, we made the playoffs, and so I was like, "Oh, this is easy. We'll be doing this every
first two
year."
years, right off the bat, that's pretty good, man. That's
Yeah,
pretty good. And by the way, what a World Series, huh?
man, it was unbelievable.
That's a dogfight.
I was on the edge of my chair every single game, and then that game seven was one for the ages. I couldn't
It
believe it.
was. It
Yeah.
was, man. I became a Alejandro Kirk fan, man. That guy's a
Oh,
beast, the
no, oh
catcher.
God.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
that.
He's unbelievable. Oh, everybody has that brings different talents to the table, and I love it.
Yep.
Hopefully, they keep. You think they're going to be able to keep Bo Bichette? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's
We'll see what
interesting.
happens. He's
I'd
definitely a
love to
hot.
see him and Vlad kind of continue growing up together.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. Aren't your Mets in the running for him?
For Bo Bichette, no, I think I heard Yankees.
Okay, okay.
I heard the
That was
Yankees are
a
hard.
perfect opportunity to represent just then.
Oh yeah, he does. He laid it up there. I'm going to save you for the end. So you
Cool.
got. So let me ask you. So I want to hit you with some IT stuff too.
All right.
Talk to me about, like, let's say from a AI perspective. Like, it wouldn't be a IT podcast without it, right? So it's just AI, AI. You have a very strong business acumen side. Like, your approach. I mean, this thing is moving light speed fast.
Yep.
Like, it's fast. What kind of recommendations you have for leaders out there, like, to kind of keep up? What kind of like playbook do you use to make sure that you stay up and you take advantage of what it is and how it can help the business?
Yeah, I mean, like podcasts and of course online resources. Which ironically, I have a little a project with an agent that runs every morning that just says, "Hey, we use ChatGPT here. Hey, ChatGPT, go get me 5 new articles that were written yesterday about AI," and then I review them every day. And it
Nice.
just kind of runs for me. And not
That's so
every
cool.
single one of those is a home run, but many of them
Hmm.
are. And another podcast, if I can plug them, is the Everyday AI podcast. Jordan there does a really good job of summarizing everything that's going on, and he that's his job. So he has a lot more time to consolidate and boil down and sort of give me his impression of what's important. And
Sure.
they do have some LinkedIn banter with him, so he does respond to his
Yeah.
fans. So I
Oh,
think
that's
he's
good.
like a top 5 business podcast right now. So
Oh, wow.
Nick Jordan Wilson. Yeah, he's a good dude. So, but his podcast is extremely valuable for sort of, especially like, so he has on Mondays, it's just the AI news from the week. And that one is super valuable just to kind of give
Like a
people,
highlight reel for you.
yeah, and it's the fire hose, right? So
Yeah.
he'll talk about everything. And then Tuesdays is his hot take on one specific controversial subject. Wednesdays, it's AI at work, and he'll teach you how to do something on Wednesdays.
That's pretty cool.
super cool. And then Thursdays and Fridays, he usually has an interview with some muckety muck in the AI world. So it's a good podcast, man.
I'm gonna check it out. He says everyday AI podcast.
Yeah.
I like it, man. Thanks. Thank you for that recommendation. I got one for you that I heard the other day from a CIO I was talking to out of Boston. It's called the Shell Game.
Okay.
It's pretty cool, man. The guy actually, he's dedicated his life to kind of running, like doing prototypes and all these, leveraging AI from a security perspective against, let's say, bad actors. But he
Mm,
does real life, like, things. Like he does like, penetration thing, like, hacking. I mean, he does, like, he talks about like the digital twins, the real value, like everything.
mm,
He turns it up. He's trying to make sure, like, understand everything under the covers. Don't
cool.
buy everything like on the what's on the shelf.
Yeah.
And it's actually I was listening to it like I'm like 2 episodes in, and he's definitely a character. He's a dynamic guy. I'll forward it over to you. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. But yeah, just, since it is our requisite AI section here, like
That's right.
for us here, we're attacking it in a few different ways. One is obviously, just getting it in the hands of the users, right? So getting a subset of our full population trained up and how to do prompt engineering and making them productive and sort of keeping an eye on the usage, right? And there's some
Oh,
really great tools on making sure that if you're paying for a license for somebody, they're using it and using it
sure.
actively. So we've got that. There's just so many great agents coming out, man. Like I think really at the forefront is the telephone world. We've been talking to
Mm.
a few different vendors on, just different telephone solutions and call center solutions. And instead of, the like press one to get to ticketing, press two to get to community, it's, hey,
Makes you
this
start
is
all over again.
Mike, your AI agent. How
Yeah.
can I, tell me what you want? And you're like, oh, we're interested in ticketing. Oh, well, the tickets for the Dodgers are sold out, but we got a game tomorrow. And would you like to talk to somebody? And, just routing your call conversationally is so much better than the phone
Oh,
tree.
definitely.
And so there's some amazing agentic stuff coming out as that goes.
Really.
Oh, and then the backside of that, where it's evaluating the calls on the user by user perspective and giving kind of a sentiment analysis on a call by call basis, and then rolling that up into some reporting that you can easily kind of see just how your call center is doing in whole or how an individual is doing. And man, it's just such powerful stuff instead of having to sit there and take a day a week and listen in or do whatever you did in the old days, right? Like this stuff
Oh,
is
yeah.
amazing.
What I love, man, is that you can, pivot quicker. It's just very like it's not about like weeks. It's about now. And I think limitation is like mindset. It's either lack of willingness because these
Yeah.
things go as far as you take it, like as far as you can take it.
Yep.
It's I love it.
The third thing we're doing here too is, talking about, building this data team. And then there's sort of three facets to AI. There's the AI and the data ingestion. I think we talked a little bit about, right? And then
That's right.
there's AI on the data governance, right? And just making sure all the data you have in there is continually munged over by this AI. And if there's records or record sets that don't match, the pattern, then you're reported on and getting kicked out and getting alerted that. So, I mean, that's going to be, that we have a unique opportunity because we're building it from the ground up. So that might be a
Yeah.
bunch of extra work if you've already got a data lake and,
Yeah.
it's been sort of unmanaged. And then of course the output of that, right? And using
Mhm.
AI to glean insights from the normalized data and getting, just having it continually, take those inputs and come up with insights and being able to do that sort of 24/7 through some agents is it's an unbelievable time that we're in, right?
It really is. I say to myself all the time. I think it's also like the limitation is your creativity and change management. I mean,
Yeah.
this thing can go as far as you want it to go. What I love about being a small business is that for us, I feel like it just gives us it allows us to punch above our weight class
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Definitely.
there's perceptions that we have phenomenal talent. I put my AI team against anybody. Like I'm a competitive guy, but I'm telling you, like they are super notch, right? Top
If
notch.
they
And
so wanted to use them and that consulting part of that whole project got yanked.
these things happen, brother. We're gonna figure it out. We'll figure it out. But you guys get to see it in action though in February though. 16th.
Okay.
That we're partnering with Darren. We're going to showcase what we did for him and stuff. And
Nice.
that's another important thing. I'm going to ask you that because Darren, Darren's a great friend. He's such a good dude, and you
Yep.
guys are the same. He tells me how much he looks up to you and how much you offer to people. He goes, You're like you're here with everybody," and that says a lot. But you're here with everybody the same way, not just like with vendors, with colleagues. It's kind of like you don't see that a lot. Sometimes vendors they get like the whole that's a vendor. That's
Right.
like a different class citizen.
Right.
No, man, we're partners. Like we want to do is anything we can. I would say vendors want to do. I would say they want to stay doing business with this, so they're always leveling up for the customer because they want to keep your customer. I have a different perspective, and of course I'm on that side of the desk. But I'll tell you, as I also, I'm a CEO and I own a couple businesses. I like partnering because I get more value. Like they're thinking of things, they're proactive. I don't worry about certain things that you have to like worry about. Sometimes you have a team. I think it's about balance, but what I do like appreciate from afar away, I'm a fan of how you communicate with everybody. You look at everybody the same, bro. And I think you give you a lot of props for that, bro. That goes
Oh,
to more street credit. You're getting more street credit in New York. No one ever gonna mess with you in New York, bro.
nice. Well, there's a couple things there. Is one is a lot of that has to do with you, and the other in that Inspire group, like the vendors in there are so respectful, and they're all friends, right? So that sort of environment really lends itself to really developing the friendship and developing the respect, and then the business follows. But the other thing too, just I sort of hit on it, you in particular, right? Like you're not you didn't come out like here's my company and here's what we do and blah blah blah. Some other events I go to, that's all it's about.
That's all I
I
talk about. Yeah.
I'm not the same person that in those events, so I
Oh
hate
yeah.
to.
We haven't seen that side yet. No, but how important it is to like, your network in your for your career.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things. One is, when we're talking about young people getting in,
Mhm.
that's you got to farm that network. And you know what? You may think you don't have a network, but you do, and your parents do for sure, right? So, farm or your uncle or your aunt or whoever,
Yeah,
you know somebody that knows somebody, and
you're right about that,
and if
man.
you can get somebody to say a kind word about you and put your resume at the top of the pile, that's invaluable, right? And so don't, you know, just because you only have, 12 connections on LinkedIn earlier in your career doesn't mean you don't have a network. You have 12 people that know you directly, and they know,
That's
how
right.
many thousands of people that they can vouch for you, right? So don't be afraid to farm that. If you see somebody as a second, as a company you're applying for, get that intro from the person that you know, and
Mm-hmm.
that's going to help you like leaps and bounds, right? So
100%.
and then, so being on the other side now, I continually use the community, use my network because somebody's had this problem that I've had, that I'm having currently, right? And
Absolutely.
especially in Denver, there's so many smart people here, and they're all willing to share. And
You guys are, man.
do is that,
I'm telling you, you guys are great.
yeah, yeah, and all you have to do is ask, and somebody's going to help you. And
They make time. I know we're on a podcast and everything. This is not a commercial. It's for real stuff. Like I've seen it in action,
yeah,
and it's pretty cool to see. Like they all know each other, and I think regardless of whatever the organization is, you guys will hang out with each other. That's how I look at it. You
right.
know,
Well, and it goes back to the humility too. Right?
you ask each other for some
Yeah.
support. Like you've been through stuff that others haven't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
love
it
that,
goes back
man.
to the humility that we were talking about before, right?
Mhm.
You've got to be willing to open yourself up that you don't know everything. And I
Yeah,
know that with some of my like CIO peers, that's hard to do, man. They've always got to be the smartest in the room. They've always got to be the person that people go to. They've always got to be, that person. And I think that's unsustainable. You're not always going to know everything about everything, right? Everybody, you can be really smart and you can know a lot about a lot, but you've also got to be willing to open up like, hey, I need some help here. And, especially like like you said, and I said in our community,
hmm
there's going to be somebody that A, probably knows what you're looking for, and B, they're willing to help you. You just got to ask.
gotta ask. So I got to bring some baseball stuff analogies in here right now, right? So let me take you. Let's say I'm gonna take Mike through the combine real quick, the MLB combine,
Okay.
right? And I want to just fire off some questions and see how see. I'm the scout, just trying to evaluate, right?
Okay.
So tell me about like what are some of the lessons you learned along your career, like to stick out to you?
Man, when I first got promoted at Microsoft, there was
Yeah.
another manager there named AJ Beatty, and he gave me the best advice early in my leadership career that I think I've ever gotten. It still sticks with me today, and that is being a leader is willing to accept work done the second best way. And what that
Ooh,
means is, your way is the best way, right? No matter what it is, your way is the
sure.
best way. So you've got to be willing to hearing, your staff, especially if you're trying to develop them, right? Like how they want to do it and let them get creative and follow their solution. Even if there's got to be guardrails around it, whether there's
Sure.
budget or, security or whatever. But if they're playing within the guardrails and it's a solution that you're not quite sure about, or you've got to let them sink or swim, right?
Mm,
And that takes me to my next thing is, and that is, take blame, give credit, right? So you let your people sink or swim. If they sink, when you're reporting up, like, oh, that didn't work out, and instead of like, will this person really mess that up or whatever, you got to be just like, hey, like we tried it, it didn't work. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we learned. That's super important. We failed. Here's what we learned. And then here's what we're going to do taking from where we are going forward. Right. But on the flip side, if it's a huge success, like person X came up with this idea, implemented it all the way through. And, now we're better off because of them and their efforts. Right. I mean,
it's a
then,
pretty cool quote.
yeah. Well, and I always feel like these are sort of cliches, right? But take blame, give credit is a core principle for me, man. It's how I
That's
live.
why you're Mike Bush, brother. So tell me, all right, I got a good one for you. Ready? You're gonna like this one, I think.
Okay.
Mike, what do you tell 25-year-old Mike Bush right now? Everything you know now.
Boy, geez. Take a risk early. Don't be a dipshit. Come on, man. You've got you've got skills and value that people want and the marketplace needs. Don't underestimate yourself, like
Amen.
I mean that
That's
is
awesome, man.
especially early in our career, man. Like you've got so
Take
much,
risks.
you've got a perspective an old codger like me doesn't have, right? So bring that in and hopefully you'll be in an environment where that's encouraged and nurtured, right? Because
Absolutely.
yeah, because you've got things to offer and you've got perspectives, that nobody else has, and those are valuable. And don't underestimate those.
I couldn't agree with you more. Something that Lisa, I'll share with this one with you too, because I completely agree with you, by the way. That's such good advice. My marketing team's having a field day with this. They're gonna love it. They're gonna like get Mike back on, right? So there's a podcast I want to introduce you to. It's called Founders. It's been super cool for me. I've been listening for like 3 years, at least 3 years. He reads like a book, like his goal is to read like a book every single day of the most successful entrepreneurs of the past and current and past. And one thing that he noticed that he kept on talking about was most of these entrepreneurs, you're talking Warren Buffett, you're talking Charlie Munger, you're talking big time legend rock, all those guys, they didn't really they were making their moves and they started really getting their stuff done in their late 50s.
Wow.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Usually like we're tying it like taking less risks now, right? We're
Right.
taking because you have more on the line and we have children and we have a lot of different things and you have this runway you're thinking about, but like wow, man, maybe something that kind of like we take that hit me different. That hit me
Yeah.
different. And I
Yeah.
said, well, why not? Like as long as maybe more calculated risk versus just risk.
Right.
But what's the worst going to happen, Mike?
Yeah. I mean,
If you
yeah.
don't shoot, like Mike, right? You don't shoot. You can't hit shots you don't take,
Right.
right?
Right. I mean, and even if it all goes to hell in a handbasket, I mean, there's such good learning there because you're
It
going to learn
is.
a lot more by the failure than you are by the success. I mean, uh,
Amen. Amen.
which
When we meet,
such
I'll
a
tell
lifestyle,
you,
but it is
it's
what.
true. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not. It sucks during when it happens, right? Because it could be painful. It could be financially painful, right? It depends on what you're going for, right?
Yep.
But man, all those lessons, like it gets you kind of prepared for the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Totally.
fight fan, so like I say, you'll see the punches coming easier next time.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
You know.
that's a great way to look at it. I might steal that one from you.
Now I'll just smile at you the next time you're in the orbit. He's like, and you say it in a speech or something like that. I love it, man. You're the dopest dude, brother. I've been looking forward to this for a while. So one more for you.
Sure.
Actually, it's kind of in two parts, though, brother. For the community, let's say these kids. I have a big thing for kids, man. Right, like in meaning, like I just. Yeah, especially underprivileged, and it's just soft spot for me where I grew up, and not just underprivileged, but just in general. These kids, everybody, these kids are going to school, they're getting these degrees, and they're getting promised that you're going to make six figures right out of school, right? 77% today are struggling to get a job. Forget about 100,000. I mean, don't get me wrong. You have your draft picks, right? You got those guys that There's some kids out there, especially with AI now. Like it's insane the amount of money these kids get. It's like having an elite athlete, right?
Yep. Yep.
It's like 1%. Outside of that, the rest of the community, what kind of advice would you give them? Busted their tail, they got their stuff, and they're sitting idle, man. They can't get in the door.
Yeah, man. Well, if we can go back to, the start of college, my advice would get a freaking accounting degree, man. Those guys, they need them so bad. And all of the top level, they're all retiring and they're not filling those back in at the bottom. And that's, there's some form of accounting that will get replaced by AI. A lot of it, like, the audit and the tax work, I mean, that's still going to be there, man. So,
That's critical thinking.
yeah, early career advice, that would be that. If on the postgraduate stuff, man, the biggest thing going, making a callback is, farm your network, farm your network, farm your network. You know somebody that knows somebody, and you do,
That's right.
um, and that's going to be the biggest help more than anything. The other thing too is if you're sitting home with idle time and you're pissed off about AI taking something from you, embrace it, man. Go learn it.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. I
You
love it.
know, yeah, go bring it. How can you bring an agent and make, if I could hire somebody, this 24-year-old fresh out of college that's going to write me, 5 agents this year that save me so I don't, so I can make my people 30% more productive. I mean, you can't do that. I'm not going to hire another employee with that kind of impact, right? You know,
It's
so
huge.
so go learn it, embrace it, do a website, do some sort of demo site where you can prove what you did and point people to it. I think that would help more than anything.
I love that one, man. I mean, advice you gave was great. That last one, that one you gave me is like, go put it into action, right?
Yeah,
Go start a business. I mean, to me, that's the best. One of the best educations you can do is like become an entrepreneur for a year. Promise you,
yeah,
it opens you education beyond education. It teaches you a lot pretty fast, and you have to be a generalist, right?
yep.
Now, what about this one, Mike? First time CIO. I got tapped on the shoulder, and I just became a CIO. What kind of advice would you give somebody walking into an organization like that?
And first of all, just sit down with all the other officers and get a lay of the land, get a, what's working, what's not working, what do you need? Just ask those three simple questions. Means so many answers. As long as you make some commitments in those to fix what's not working and continue doing what's working, you get instant credibility.
You're right.
And the fact that you opened it up again, it goes back to the humility thing, right? Like, I don't think that what we're doing is perfect. I don't think that what we're doing is, the end goal, because especially in technology, it's always evolving. And now, with AI, it's evolving faster, right?
Super
And so
fast.
people are going to be expecting a lot more of these teams. And if you can go in and start that way and open it up and just give an open forum, and, don't get defensive, because it's going to be really hard not to, right?
That's
Especially when you're
right.
talking about things that aren't working, and, the personalities of the people you're talking to might get, start attacking you or your crew. And, you just got to be willing to take those and be willing to, okay, I hear what you're saying and here's what we're going to do, and then follow through on it. And then the
That's
other
great
thing,
advice.
yeah, the other thing too is that's not just a one and done. Do that periodically. I do mine once a year, and I don't think that's enough. I think I need to bump those up to every 6 months, and
So you
just,
meet with your peers. You meet with
yeah,
your peers.
yeah,
That's
and
good,
get
man.
that
That's
forum.
solid.
Yeah, yeah. And, the thing too is that it helps me too. It helps me because it's like, what do you need, what do you need in 2026? but also
True.
what do you think you're going to need after that? And it helps me with
Mm,
my 3 year, 5 year plan, right? So
that's true.
because I can sort of predict, oh, baseball, they're going to do this different flavor of analytics, or they're going to look at players this different way, or they're going to bring in this player technology or whatever the case may be. And is our infrastructure ready for that? Is our, security posture ready for that? We're able to get in front of it instead of playing catch up. And
Oh man,
it's just
that's
by meeting
huge.
with people. That's all.
You know, it's wild. It's that's the playbook that sounds easy, but it's not as easy to execute on, right?
Right. Right.
So it's
Like
like,
I said, you got to be willing, you're asking the questions. You got to be willing to hear the answers because you
that's
might
right.
not like them. Right.
While you're here, actually, I do got to talk to you, right? That's great.
Yeah. Everybody's sick of this self deprecating shtick you have. I heard that before and I took it to heart, man, because I was like,
No,
he's right. Like I can be humble, but not self deprecating. Right.
I don't
So,
know.
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm just kidding.
Oh, God. Oh, all right. I'm hanging up.
Mike, you're the best, brother, man. Look, hey, thank you for doing this. You're a wealth of information, man. The marketing team's gonna have a field day here. A lot of this advice you gave, it resonates big time with me personally,
Cool.
and I wrote a lot of them down. So I really appreciate that, man. You keep paying it forward, man. I see you do it in action all the time. It's not a corny line, man. I'm not that guy. Man, I'm roughneck from New York, so I get offended if anybody thinks I'm corny, right? So. So I'm telling you, man, like seriously, you can see it from afar away. You're a good man, and I think good things happen to good people. You know, so you live your life like that. So
Thanks,
continue
man.
to do that, man. Only
I
good
really
things happen for
appreciate it.
you, and hopefully they happen for the Rockies too.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming,
No,
coming quick. I can't wait.
that's good,
It'll be
man.
awesome.
No, it's going to be good. Thank you, brother.
All right. Thank you.